The concepts of energy and being sound like vegan spiritual fluff, but they're actually the keys to success. Nobody's telling you to sit on a rock and manifest your way to millions. You still have to do the work. But the doing only works when it's aligned with the right internal state. So if you've been hustling, grinding, implementing, and still wondering why it's not clicking, this episode breaks it all down. Once you get this, you stop spinning and start actually getting what you want. I was having a conversation with one of my private clients recently. They're a husband and wife couple. They have an 8-figure insurance company. And recently they lost one of their carriers and they were freaking out about it because it was having a major impact on their business. They lost some of their policies. They weren't able to pay some of their employees. And the husband said to me on our coaching call, I know you say that we should focus on staying in a powerful state of being, and that the problem will resolve itself as long as we don't get caught up in the problem. But don't we need to actually do something? And he said, it sounds pretty woo-woo to just be and trust that it's all going to work out. And this being versus doing is one of the more misunderstood concepts in personal growth. And you can overhear the hippie vegan at your favorite restaurant saying, hey man, just chill out, just be with it, man. It's who you're being. And the problem, and I'm speaking as a recovering vegan, is that these people are broke. So they're on the extreme side of being. And if you really look at it, a lot of the time, they're really not that chilled out, or it's medically induced chilling. And so we dismiss this stuff as new age, it's law of attraction, it's horseshit. But it's really not, because there was nothing horseshit about Gandhi. Dude led a revolution, awakened an entire nation, liberated the people from the rule of the greatest imperialist power in the world at that time, England. And the guy said, be the change you want to see in the world. So for me, when someone frees an entire nation, I like to try to listen to what they have to say. And so here's where it gets really interesting, because on the flip side, you've got the hustle and grinders, the control people, the perfectionists. Again, I'm with you. You are my people. It is all doing. And the idea is, if I can just outwork everybody else, I win. Ton of this on YouTube right now. Ton of this in personal growth. Navy SEAL, 5 a.m. type of mentality. And look, I get to coach a lot of these people because it's not sustainable. They burn out and they end up needing help even though they'd never tell you about it. They'll get right back on YouTube and tell you to outwork the guy next to you. But meanwhile, they're taking pills to sleep, their nervous systems are shot, their health is crap, they've taken their relationships to the sacrificial altar of success, all because of doing. So let me break this down for you. Step 1, to understand, yes, you create your own reality. Yes, like Napoleon Hill said, thoughts are things and you are creating your reality. This is a holographic reality. It is all energy. The great teachers talked about this, from Nikola Tesla to Albert Einstein. It is all energy. What does that mean? Well, from a physics standpoint, I won't get on my woo box over here. We'll get into science. From a physics standpoint, it's all energy. If you look at the atomic model, and I remember like my 7th grade science teacher explaining this to us, she said, if you look at an atom is structured as if it were a basketball in the middle of a football field with the nucleus of the atom, the neutrons and the protons, and the electron is the size of a tennis ball spinning around the parking lot. And she said, so basically an atom is all space. But as you go smaller and smaller into the different pieces of the atom, eventually what you find is the field. And you get into field theory. What you find is that actually the root cause of everything is this thing called energy. It's a waveform. It's not a particle. It's waves of energy. And as those waves interact with each other, it collapses the wave and particles are formed. So as two waves, as you can imagine, like you've ever seen one of those swirl pools in water where one wave is going one way, one wave is going another, and they start to swirl. As they start to swirl, the material world forms. You get a particle. But beneath it all is energy. And you are energy because you are made of atoms and molecules and cells. And so you're this matrix-like, fluctuating, shimmering field of energy. And your brain and your nervous system transmit energy or electromagnetic frequency. And so you're broadcasting and creating your life through what you're putting out there. You're literally walking around vibing all the time, putting energy into an energetic reality, and that creates coincidences and synchronicities and rendezvous in your life. This is one way that you're creating your own reality. On the other hand, doing is also part of it. So we go to the gym, we train, we eat right, we lose weight. That's not being, that's not thinking, that's not vibing, it's doing. We have a business idea, we study marketing, we implement a strategy, we generate clients, make some money. That's a result of doing, right? That's not a result of thinking. But here's what's important to understand. What you do, and how you do it, that's a byproduct of being. So being is the root cause, doing is the effect. And this is very, very confusing for people because all we see is the doing while the being is invisible. But what you accomplish or what you don't accomplish, that is a byproduct of your habit of emotion, your habit of thought. And that's what being is. It's how you habitually think and feel, your personality, your habit of being. Hey, it's David. Just a quick interruption to your regularly scheduled episode by your favorite sponsor, moi. I want to tell you about my book. It is available on Amazon right here, right now. A Changed Mind, Go Beyond Self-Awareness, Rewire Your Brain, and Re-Engineer Your Reality. In this little book are all the frameworks, the tools, the methodologies that I talk about on this show and that I've used to actually change my mind and that tens of thousands of other people have used to transform their bank accounts, their businesses, their relationships, their health, their spiritual connection, everything that you want to achieve. This is the way to achieve it. And Amazon has done us a good one right now. It's significantly discounted. So you can go and pick up your copy, or better yet, pick up a copy for a friend too. There's nothing better than giving the gift of transformation right now. Hop on over to Amazon. There's a link in the show notes. And if you love the book as much as I loved writing it for you, do me a favor, let me know that and leave a review. And now back to your regularly scheduled episode. We teach there are only two states of being. This is a super powerful distinction if you want to excel at your own personal growth and have success in your life. Two states of being: powerful states and primal states. Powerful states are states of being that feel good. States like joy, curiosity, excitement, passion, calm, empathy. States of being that feel good. This is when your parasympathetic nervous system is active, the rest, the relaxation, the digestive part of your system. Then there are primal states of being. These are states of being that feel bad. States like stress, anxiety, overwhelm, boredom, anger, jealousy, fear. That's when your sympathetic nervous system is active, the fight, flight, or freeze. And when you're in a powerful state of being, it leads to productive action that is aligned with the results that you want to produce. And that just makes sense. When you feel good, you do intelligent things that lead to productive results. When you're in a primal state of being, those actions that you take from a primal state, they lead to counterproductive or destructive results. And just think about it for a minute. If you're excited, you'll do one thing. If you're grateful, calm, peaceful, you'll do one thing, right? You'll take productive action, intelligent action. You'll see things more clearly. If you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're bored, won't you do things differently? Won't you do things from a place of desperation or a place of frustration? And don't forget, you're constantly broadcasting out this frequency as well. And so I told my clients, yeah, look, I'm not saying don't do something about the loss of the insurance carrier that's having a dramatic effect on your business. You're going to do, but the question is, who is doing the doing? Who are you being when you're doing? So we have to resist the temptation to react and instead intentionally respond from a powerful state of being. We have to clear the runway before we can get the airplane off the ground. We have to organize our minds. And so that's also why Gandhi said, I have so much to do today, I must meditate for 2 hours instead of 1. This was a guy who was in the process of rounding up a people and supporting them in self-liberating. He had a lot of work to do. It's not a small project, but he knew that if he was going to do that project, meaning produce that outcome of nation building, when he had a lot to do, he had to have an even more organized mind. That's what he meant by, I have so much to do today, I must meditate for 2 hours instead of 1. Most people feel like they have so much to do because they're being reactive that they don't have time to meditate at all. But the wise, powerful person understands that who you're being is going to determine what results that you produce. He got it. And the tricky thing is that what we see is the doing, not the being. So we detect through our observation that, for example, Alex Hormozy did this business strategy, and so I'll just go replicate that strategy. Or Warren Buffett made this investment, so I'll go make that investment too. Or my friend did this to her dating profile, and so I'll go implement the same strategy on my dating profile, expecting to get the same results. We implement the strategy, but what we don't see is who is doing the implementation. Because the mindset of Alex Hormozy, the mindset of Warren Buffett, and the mindset of your friend are actually the root cause. What they do is just a byproduct of that. So two people can actually implement the same strategy and produce very different results because who they're being is completely different. The person who is calm and faithful and confident and has beliefs aligned with the outcome they want produces the result. The person who is divided within, doubting, angry, frustrated, scared, is going to produce a result that they don't desire. And so I told my clients, look, let's look at the reaction you're having. The fear, the doubt, the what are we going to do about our employees, the guilt, the shame, the second guessing, the self-judgment. And let's first address that. Let's reset first who you're being. And the beautiful opportunity in that situation was the way that they were being with this business problem is very similar to the way that they're being with all the problems in their life, because that's who they're being. So the reactive, the fear-based, the self-judgment, that's actually inside of them. And if we can heal that, now all of their external circumstances begin to change. We needed to focus on that first, because once they reset who they were being, they would decide to do different things, or maybe they'll decide to do the same things that they brought to that conversation, but from a different state of being. And that's, again, what is so confusing. You may still do the same thing that you were going to do from a primal state, because the doing may have been really, really obvious, but you're going to bring a different version of you to the party. And that changes the game and it changes the result. And so if we're able to bring the vegan and hustle and grinder together to allow them to make peace, you actually get a powerfully peaceful person that can break down any wall, achieve any goal, and do it with peace, man. That's what the great teacher did. He was loving, he was kind, but kicking over the tables of the money changers, right? Jesus was opposing governments while forgiving everybody. And we have great examples of this in all spiritual traditions. How do you incorporate and put first who you're being? By transforming your limiting beliefs, by healing your trauma, by having faith instead of fear. And we have a ton of other episodes on this channel that can walk you through really practical tools to be able to do that, because that is going to produce a person who is doing intelligently. Being and doing. It is an absolutely unstoppable force. So I hope you loved this episode. I hope this clarified for you the being versus doing conversation, because you need both. If you're following along on YouTube, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, ask me a question. I try to read all of them. If you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notifications. If you're listening on the audio platforms, do the same thing. Leave me a rating and review. I love waking up and seeing how much you love the show as much as I love delivering this content to you. And share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it, because this is not a do-it-yourself project. It is a do-it-all together. I love you very much, and I will see you in the next episode. Hey, it's David. Hop on over to davidbear.com. Click right here. There's also a link in the show notes, and sign up for our newsletter. You'll get immediate access to my free Mind Hack ebook, as well as a couple of trainings to help you master the inner game. This is a great way to stay informed and be a part of our community and be notified of special announcements. Click below, head on over to the website, get subscribed. If you loved this video, make sure you check out this one or this one, and I will see you in the next video.